Are we close to the end of the current world order? Will Trump get assassinated? And will they blame it on the Iranians? And is all this connected to Comet 3i Atlas, your third eye, and La Palma? It seems all these events are connected. And there's been tons of predictive programming which I've covered over the years. And here we have the latest statue of Trump, which was positioned outside Washington, the capital. And it is him with Jeffrey Epstein. Remember I Pet Goat 2, Alice in Wonderland, the dropping of the apple, underneath the apple is La Palma, on the beard of Bin Laden is a meteor. So we have here Trump with Jeffrey Epstein, a new statue which has been positioned. Now these statues are all funded by a certain country in the Middle East. These statues of Trump. So Trump is the fall guy figure. He's the fool. And he's going to be made as the guy with mustache. He's the new guy with mustache. And what this statue symbolizes is that America will end. The Titanic of America will end, will sink. Remember, the Titanic was considered unsinkable until it hit an iceberg. And remember, the people drowned in it. And the Titanic is named after the Titans. And one of the Titans was Atlas. We have this third eye Atlas. Atlas is the god who holds up the earth, which is your head, and your pineal gland is what these secret societies believe is your connection with God. Your crown, your pineal gland, your Lucifer, where man finds enlightenment. Man is on this great journey of enlightenment through understanding the duality of earth. And through this alchemical duality, there is created a synthesis, and man becomes enlightened and gets to understand greater the knowledge of God and God's plan for man. This is what these secret societies seem to believe. And so we have Atlas, who was a Titan. We have Titanic. And Atlas was the old king of Atlantis. America, the new Atlantis. Francis Bacon, one of the secret writers of Shakespeare. America is going to be used in order to create the next new age of humanity. And it's all connected to predictive programming. And it seems to be connected to this, what I believe is a man-made comet, Third Eye Atlas. I believe these events seem to be man-made. This seems to be a script we are following. This is why we have so much predictive programming. So we have him doing the Titanic pose. Now we have to remember that these statues, there's been a number of statues like this. Now in 2016, I covered this. This was a documentary made by Jeremy Paxman, a political analyst in the UK, and he was covering the Clinton-Trump election, and it was called Divided America. It opens with Abraham Lincoln, and Trump is connected to Lincoln. Trump is going to be assassinated. Lincoln got assassinated in a theatre. In 1833, Lincoln predicted that the earth would not end. People thought the earth was ending because there was this intense meteor shower. But Lincoln stepped outside and he said, no, it's just a little meteor shower, everything's going to be fine. It's not the end of the world yet. And of course, Lincoln was responsible for the Civil War. Now in this programme, made in 2016, it says, give a man a gun, he'll rob a bank. Give a man a bank, he'll rob the world. And we have another statue of Trump. He has a Masonic ring. He has herpes. He's naked. It's made by an Israeli art collective. And underneath it says, Jabba 666.
With America more divided than ever, it's not just the two candidates casting an unsparing eye over their opponent. He had to make a couple of turns the hard way, but it took a half hour to get him up here, but it was worth the win.
So here we have a demonic figure. All the flags are upside down. We have a naked Trump, Masonic ring here. America is going to collapse. It's the end of America as we know it today.
We were turning up somewhat of a life-size tunnel.
This is an Israeli art collective who made the statues. All these statues are made by a certain country in the Middle East.
Trump. He's a little taller.
It's called In Decline.
He's a little heavier. He's a lot lighter. But he's got about the same air mass to him, which is full of nothing. The protest art collective In Decline titillated it.
So here we have the naked statue of Trump, and here we have Jabba 666, square and compass of Freemasonry.
America when their life
See if we can capture this. Jabba 666, and then the square and compass of Freemasonry. Let's see if you can see that. Jabba 666. Jabba 666. In decline, America's collapsed. Square and compass. Remember, he's responsible for the William Shakespeare. He is playing Julius Caesar. First man to get it was called William Shakespeare. Tsar, Nadim Sahawi, Stratford-upon-Avon. Shakespeare is considered the first founder of Royal Arch Freemasonry. Square and compass. 66. Jabba, the statue. He's naked. He appears like he has herpes.
Appeared overnight in parks and streets. There are some liberties taken, of course, with the hair, the gut, and other extremities. All of the statues vanished the same
So it looks
day.
like he's got herpes.
Now, thanks to art curator Stanley Sue,
And then it's going to go to the Masonic ring.
Jersey. It delights thousands each day as they commute into
There's the Masonic ring, square and compass. Atlas held up the heavens. He was the king of Atlantis. This is actually your head. The earth is your head, and in your brain you have your pineal gland, and that's where they believe that man's higher self is located, and God's relationship with man. In the pineal gland, which is symbolized as the synthesis of the dialectic. And so we have the sinking of the Titanic on April the 15th. And on April the 15th, you will find that you had the death of Abraham Lincoln. You had the sinking of the Titanic. Remember that there's connections with the death of Kennedy and Lincoln. There's also connections between Kennedy and Trump. And we had the Boston Marathon bombings, and we had the fire of Notre Dame, which is ISIS. The Notre Dame of ISIS. The Notre Dame Cathedral was built on the Temple of Isis. Remember, Diana died in Paris. Diana, all her memorials are dedicated to Isis. We have William, who's going to become king. This event seems to be going to happen just before he's king, connected to the death of King Charles. And we also had Hillsborough on April the 15th, which seemed to be some kind of Masonic ritual about the death of the Queen, because there was 96 victims in Hillsborough. The Queen died aged 96. Now, I actually predicted this on my channel, if you are a subscriber of my past channel. And then another victim dies much later on, the 97th. But the Queen died aged 96 in her 97th year. It was some kind of ritual for the Queen. And when the Queen died and was buried on September the 19th, the year before, that was the date of the eruption of Cumbre Vieja, La Palma. And the earthquake swarm started on September 11th, 9/11. So it looks like we're coming to the end of America as it is known today. With that statue there, with Trump, everything is going to be revealed. It's connected to this man-made comet, which is Third Eye Atlas, your third eye. Encounters of the third kind. They claimed it was an extraterrestrial object. Avi Loeb. E.T. points to the boy's pineal gland, says, "I'll be right there." Then E.T. goes onto his spaceship with some sunflowers, and the sunflowers is a symbol of enlightenment, and he's followed by the dog, and the dog goes back to the boy. The dog is Isis. What it's saying to the boy is that through this alchemical formula of understanding the duality, man can become enlightened, which is symbolised by Isis, who has the two arms. She is the keystone of the Masonic arch. And Boris Johnson said that the Queen was the keystone. And remember, the keystone has a yin-yang number, 69 and 96. The Queen died aged 96. It's connected to Third Eye Atlas, Hammer of God, and Lucifer's hammer. So Arthur C. Clarke wrote a book called Hammer of God. The Hammer of God is Thor. We had Jake Angeli with his Thor tattoo. Thor is also Zeus, thunder. A storm is coming. And it's all connected to also Back to the Future, where that is actually represents America. You have the prediction of 9/11 in the film, with the Twin Pines Mall and the Lone Pine Mall. And it seems that America will be ended, it will be flooded. And this is why in the third film, they go back in time to the Wild West, how it used to be. And so Arthur C. Clarke wrote this book called Hammer of God. And it has a project in it called Project Atlas, which is defending the Earth from fragments of a comet. And then you have all these films, Deep Impact, which was based on Hammer of God. You have Greenland, which was based on Hammer of God. And the comet in Greenland is called Clark. And we have all this thing about Greenland, Trump invading Greenland. Now, Arthur C. Clarke based his book on this book called Lucifer's Hammer. Jerry Purnell. And it has the same story. Lucifer, your third eye Atlas. It's all predictive programming. Lucifer's hammer. And remember that in Back to the Future, you have lightning hitting the clock tower. Thor, a storm is coming. In the second film, you see the corruption of America through Trump. Trump will fall. America has become corrupted. The writer of Lucifer's Hammer, Jerry Pournelle, was one of the main creators of a weapon system in space that imitates meteors called Project Thor. And this is what I believe will be used to create this event. And will we have, due to this event, a seismic shock which will then cause La Palma? So it seems that we're going to have some kind of meteor strike, and then this may trigger some kind of collapse of La Palma. And so we have Thor and Jupiter, a storm is coming. We have Nebuchadnezzar's dream, and the feet represents America, the end of America. We had a statue of Trump as Nebuchadnezzar with a Bitcoin in his hand. I did a video about it. And Nebuchadnezzar's statue was destroyed by a rock. And then we have a new age, a new rock. And this is about creating a new age. And to create that new age, America as it is today has to end. And we'll have probably some kind of world governance of some sort. So we have this statue of Trump as Nebuchadnezzar. And again, this relates to Third Eye Atlas, your third eye. And Comet Third Eye Atlas is approaching Jupiter on March the 15th and 16th. Remember, March the 15th is the Ides of March when Julius Caesar was stabbed. And Jupiter is actually Zeus. So could we have an event when Comet Atlas is actually near Jupiter, who is Zeus, who is Thor, who is lightning, who is the lightning bolt? A storm is coming. Thor's hammer, hammer of God, Lucifer's hammer, your third eye Atlas. We have this film, The Man Who Saw Tomorrow. It says that there'll be a cataclysm before World War III really kicks off, a huge deluge, and you have a man with a blue turban.
Nostradamus, like the Bible, predicted that these natural disasters will precede a great war, a war far worse than all the other wars.
Now, I believe this is all predictive programming. And you have a man who comes on the scene with a blue turban. This guy. And in the program, it actually mentions Khomeini, Ayatollah Khomeini in Iran, in the actual program, The Man Who Saw Tomorrow. Now, if you look at this man, he's got a blue turban, blue jacket, all-seeing eye here, with the Nike signs going round. Now, if we look at this guy, the new leader of Iran, what do you notice about him? He wears blue. He wears like a blue dress. Blue. In all the photos I've seen, this guy likes to wear blue. This is all predictive programming. Remember, Iran, the richest family in Iran, are the Sassoons, who created BP oil, who are behind the opium trade to China, and who married into the Red Shirts. This is about the end of America. Donald Trump is the fool. He's bringing about America's collapse. America has to collapse for this new age to begin. And is this why we go back to the Wild West and back to the Future 3? So we have the third eye, your third eye Atlas in this clip. Save the clock tower, your third eye, because the clock tower was struck by lightning. Thor, a storm is coming. This is based on America. The doc is Benjamin Franklin. This is telling you the fate of America. It seems to be connected to Third Eye Atlas and La Palma and the end of America, the engineering of the end of America. We have Bin Laden here, iPet Goat 2. We just had the lunar eclipse. We have the Iranians, they're doing the all-seeing eye, they're part of it. And he has a meteor, Third Eye Atlas here. We're in Ramadan. It seems that Third Eye Atlas, they're going to stage some kind of event where you're going to have these meteors, which they're going to blame on Three Eye Atlas, your third eye. This is all about the new age, the new age of man, through man's third eye. It seems that all history is actually planned. Remember, we had the collapse of the Soviet Union, the fall of Berlin Wall on 11/11, November 11th, 9/11. All these events seem to be planned. And it seems that we're going to have the end of America. And it seems that it's connected to this man-made comet, Third Eye Atlas, and La Palma. Thank you.